unfortunately, I have not forgotten how to read. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to make another video. This is kind of like the one I just posted, except it's more timely because this is all of the books I read in the month of February. A real quick thank you. One of my mom's work friends saw the other video and got me like a real legit camera and real legit microphone. I will be using it soon. I just have to buy an SD card and I'm very lazy and I don't want to leave my house. I'm filming this right after the gym, so I'm very tired. I'm probably gonna take a nap after this, so it's gonna be very quick. I read 6 books in the month of February. Lots of interesting new things for me this month. I'm really excited to review it. If you're seeing this not from my Instagram, then follow me on Instagram at pesto.fresno, same as here. I will hopefully be posting on there more. I've taken like an unofficial break just because I honestly haven't been in the mood to make anything, but I'm feeling it now, same as here. I finished my sketchbook, so we're gonna have a sketchbook tour soon. I have some book reviews, some lifestyle stuff maybe. I plan to make a video about like vinyl records and my music collection and stuff like that. Very exciting. Like always, I have the iPad here. That's gonna be a theme. We'll be seeing this more often. So yeah, let's get into the book review. So before I get into reviews, I did want to mention this is technically the 6th book. I'm placing it at 6th, I guess. I'm not going to be reviewing it. I'm going to make a separate video for it because it is all short stories. And I just feel like it is unfair to place short stories in the same ranking system as normal books because, you know, there are some stinkers in here, but also there's some great short stories in here that I love. So I just feel like it's not fair because it's like instead of one main story, it's like 20 short stories. Duh, because it's a short story collection, whatever. 20 different stories with 20 different main characters and 20 different goals and 20 different endings. So I just feel like it's not fair to rank it. So technically this is at number 6. It will just be getting its own video. So you'll be seeing more of Stephen King's The Night Shift. So my number 5 is The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett.
So my reading skills were absolutely dookie in this part, so I'm just going to tell you basically there's this world that's floating on the back of a magical turtle, and there's a wizard and some tourist guy, and we watch them do silly little shenanigans, and also the world is flat, hence why it's Discworld.
So this is book number 1 in the Discworld series, and that series, you know, has like 2,000 books in it. Actually it has like 60. I'm just being dramatic. But everyone online is like has a different idea of where to start in this series. There isn't necessarily a starting book. So I just bought the first one because that was the one I could find. First one isn't the best one to start at, but I had a great time and I want to read the rest of them, so it worked on me. It's kind of hard to explain the plot because there isn't a ton of plot. There's almost like 3 shorter stories inside this one long story. You know, you go through 3 different quests of these 2 main characters. It's very fun. There's so much Discworld lore that I don't know how to explain it to you in a video, and you would just have to read it. The fantasy logic is very cool. All the characters are so well written and so thought out. I think Terry Pratchett is a genius. I don't think he gets enough appreciation from the average reader. I'm afraid I'm gonna become a very big nerd for this series very soon. People act like this book is bad. This book is not bad. This book is great. This book is fantastic. It's only at number 5 because everything on this list is super strong. And I love reading. I'm never gonna rate anything bad because I'm never gonna read anything I don't like. So, all that being said, read The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. Get into Discworld. We can nerd out about it together. And that leads us to number 4.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip.
My number 4 is 1989 by George Orwell. I have a description. Everyone knows what this book is about. I don't know why I'm even bothering with this, but a masterpiece of rebellion and imprisonment where war is peace, freedom is slavery, and Big Brother is always watching. Thought police, Big Brother, Orwellian, these words have entered our vocabulary because of George Orwell's classic dystopian novel, 1984. I love this book. Who doesn't love this book? I don't know. I think this book is incredibly important to read. Culture has pulled it so far away from what George Orwell intended. Surprise, surprise. It's very wordy. It is so hard to read. It's such a drag to read. There are pages that are just dedicated to nothingness. Him describing his, like, breakfast food. And that is the point. This book is supposed to be hard to read. This book is supposed to make you struggle. It is supposed to make you think. That is the whole point of 1984, and that's how we avoid becoming like the society of 1984. That being said, didn't enjoy reading it. I did struggle through it. I would roll my eyes. Dog back there. The main character is very annoying. That is the point. I realize that. But oh my gosh. He is annoying. He sucks. But that is the point. This is, like, low-key my least favorite of the, like, mega dystopia literary classics out there. Like, you know, Brave New World, Parable of the Sower, The Road, Hunger Games, Handmaid's Tale. What else am I forgetting? There are some I'm forgetting. I know there are some I'm forgetting. But, you know, that type of, like, genre of work. This is my least favorite just because...
Be nice. I'm finding it.
He sure said a lot without saying very much. I think the concepts are interesting. This book is very good. It is a classic for a reason. Everyone should read this book. Just because it's hard, that shouldn't dissuade you from wanting to learn what Orwell had to say in this book. If you're gonna read this, you might as well also read everything else, because I think there are valuable lessons to learn in all of these sort of, like, warnings for the future type books. So, 1984 is great. But you know what's even better? My number 3 book,
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
I actually can't believe I'm coming out on the internet and telling people I think this book is better than 1984. But I am. So, hey, what can you say? My number 3 is Cujo by Stephen King. In this tale of a killer canine, man's best friend turns into his worst enemy. When a sweet Saint Bernard, Cujo, is bitten by a bat, he starts behaving oddly and becomes very aggressive. As Cujo morphs into a dangerous beast, he goes on a rampage in a small town. I love this book. It wasn't what I expected. Honestly, I kind of put off reading Cujo because I was like, oh, a dog with rabies. Scary. Hey, did we run out of ideas? This book just kind of made me sad. Like, honestly, it's a very sad book from the titular character, a dog getting rabies, and we read it from the dog's point of view, by the way. The main 2 characters trapped in the car, the mom and the son trapped in the car, the mom and the son leaving town to escape the abusive husband, stuff like that. This book is very sad in ways that honestly I just don't think is advertised properly, and I think kind of gives this book a bad rep. Stephen King has stated that he doesn't remember writing this book at all because of all the white powder he was doing, which is very funny to me because you can kind of tell. I mean, there's so many characters that he introduces once and then doesn't do anything with. I personally don't really mind that, but that's some people's biggest complaint with this book. But the fact that he said, like, watching the movie, it was like seeing a brand new movie for him because he doesn't remember the book, that is so funny to me. You can tell this was made by someone on substances. I just can't say I care. Question for Mr. King. Why did you name the kid Tatter? Tad? Dumb name. Dumb name. Kid deserved The kid deserved what he got for that name. Did Mr. Tatter here, did he have the shine, or was he just weird? I would love to know. I loved the characters. I thought the internal dialogue was very good. Stephen King does internal dialogue very well, in my opinion. I think that's one of his strengths. Writing from the dog's perspective was such a cool idea. I love that. It did make it very sad. I cried a little at the end of this book. I did not expect, but there was like the last few lines really got to me. I appreciate this book. It's kind of the B-movie of books. Like, if books had B-movies, this would be that type of book. Not B-movies starring, not the B-movie starring Jerry Seinfeld. I like it. I think this book is worth a read, especially if you're getting into some Stephen King work. Pretty light on the scares. The gore. This is probably one of his goriest books. I will just say that straight up. I mean, it's a dog eating people, so what do you expect? Yeah, pretty fire book. On to number 2. A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. An ordinary family man, geologist, and Mormon, Soren Johansson has always believed he'll be reunited with his loved ones after death in an eternal hereafter. Then he dies. Soren wakes up to find himself cast by a god he has never heard of into a hell whose dimensions he can barely grasp, a vast library he can only escape from finding the books that contain the story of his life. I had seen reviews of this book floating around, but I've never seen anyone cover it, and I'm honestly glad. Going into this blind, so fun. Super interesting content here, super interesting ideas of the passage of time, what the afterlife could look at. It's a pretty funny concept, you know. It turns out the only right religion is one that's only had 1,000 practicers, so almost everyone ends up in hell. So they're in this giant library where you have to find the exact story of your life with no misspellings, no mistakes. And our main character goes up and goes down, and there's infinite floors. He meets a lot of interesting people. The descriptions of time are really interesting, especially once you get further into the book, because the way our main character describes time correlates with his mental state and how long he's been in said hell. Stories like this, the first one that comes to my mind is The Jaunt by Stephen King. Another one is, that one subway story from No Sleep that they covered on Creepcast. This is what that reminds me of. This is very, very similar.
Another one is The Long Dream by Junji Ito. If you've ever read or seen that, then this is a lot like that too.
I love stories like that mess with eternity and time. They really fill me with a sense of dread that nothing else can accomplish. I literally read this in one sitting. I sat down in this chair and read it in an hour. It is 100 pages, but the text is very huge. I definitely recommend this book. If you can find it for free, read it for free, but buying it is worth it. It's great. The writing is great. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Just an interesting concept, honestly. I appreciate books like this that are willing to explore these interesting, to some people, offensive ideas. The comedy in this, especially at the beginning, was pretty good. I thought our main character was very realistic for the situation he was in. I mean, it would have been easy to write a parody of a Mormon, for lack of a better term, but he was great. There was 3 pages dedicated to him getting peer pressured into trying coffee. That's what I read books for. This book, if you're a fan of existentialism, cosmic horror, you'll love this one. Give it a try. That leads us to our number 1. My number one for the month of February is Monstrilio by Gerardo Samano Cordova. This book has been so heavily praised, and I fully agree and understand why. Grieving mother Magos cuts a piece of her deceased 11-year-old son Santiago's lung. Acting on fierce maternal instincts and the dubious logic of an old folktale, she nurtures the lung until it gains sentience. There is more of this summary, but I am going to leave it at that. Because if I read the rest of the summary, it's kind of spoilers. And this book, to spoil this book, would be a crime against God himself. I don't like when people throw around the term modern classic, because when we think of how many novels were written to be forgot about that probably thought they were classics. But I do genuinely think this will be a modern classic, at least in the, like, alternative side of literature. It goes through the perspective of 4 characters. Magos, the mother, we heard of in the review. Lena, Magos' best friend and sort of ex-girlfriend. We'll get into that. And Joseph, the father, and M. Monstrilio, when he's kind of grown up. I think all 4 of these perspectives were very needed. I think if we removed one of them, the book would not feel complete. This has a very small cast of characters, and I think that works to its favor. We feel like we are a part of the family in this book, or at least I did. I don't like how this was being advertised as a horror first. I think it has elements of a lot of different things. It's hard to place it. It just doesn't feel like a horror. It's very sad. It's emotional. It's about a mother grieving her son at the end of the day. It's also about love. It's about experiencing the world for the first time as a young adult. So I feel like it being advertised as horror is kind of weird. I do think it is horror. I just think when people are like, this is a horror book, that sort of diminishes the complexities that are found in this book. This being the author's first book is genuinely insane. If I had this amount of talent in my right pinky finger, y'all would never stop hearing from me. I would be the most annoying person in the history of the earth. I am begging you, go read Monstrilio. Go read this book. You will love it. You will have a great time. Okay, maybe not great time. You will have a sort of grossed out, intrigued, sad, happy time. Also, I feel like it's important to point out every character in this book is gay. Every single character. You think they're gonna make a character somewhat straight. Nope. Gay. Gay characters. But it's kind of the vibe. I liked it. I appreciated the commitment. It was nice. I liked it. It was messy. Perfect book. I live for the drama. If a book has drama, I'm going to enjoy it. And this had so much drama in it. It was crazy. It was like a soap opera. Honestly, that's what it felt like reality TV. That was my February reading list. I had a lot of fun this February. I read more books than I thought I was going to. I was sick for most of February, so I didn't really get a lot of reading done, but I am proud of myself. 6 in a short month is nothing to sneeze at. Again, I will be releasing an actual review of Night Shift by Stephen King soon. I just haven't recorded it yet. That will probably be next. Yeah, love these books. No stinkers yet in this year. I'm very happy about that. So, we're at the part of the video where I tell you what I'm reading in March this month, right now. I am back with what I'm going to try and tackle in the month of March. So the 2 books I am currently reading, Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. I'm sure I will finish this tonight after I record. It's pretty short, it's only 100 pages. It's awesome. Love this book. Wow. Hey, why aren't we talking about this? Where's the love for this book? I also have started Stephen King's On Writing. I have heard life-changing things about this book. So far, it's amazing. I'm very excited to read this book for many reasons. I also have Christine by Stephen King. It's a biggie. I have the time to read such a large book. I just kind of have to get into the mental space, so I'm kind of building my way up to it. I just got this. It is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I adore Shirley Jackson. I don't know how I haven't read this book yet because I love everything she writes. Very, very excited to get to this one. I also have Between Two Fires, another kind of biggie. I have only heard great things about this book. It's a very intriguing concept. It's like zombies, but it's set during the Black Plague. Sign me up. Super excited. Hoping I get to this one in March. I don't know. And then, obviously, not a surprise, but I have the Light Fantastic, the second Discworld book. I'm just reading the Discworld series in order until I can no longer find or buy them in order. I like the first one. I'm assuming I'm gonna like the second one, considering it's like all of the same characters. So, we'll see. So this is my March reading list. It's subject to change. I don't know. Usually when I finish a book, I just grab the next one I see to start. So this might be totally different. I said in last month's video, my reading goal this year is at least 50 books. These 6 plus the last 7 makes 13, so I am 26% of the way to my goal. That's very awesome. That's further along than I thought I would be. I'm making very good progress. I'll probably slow down. You know, I feel like winter is just easier to read than like spring, summer. I'm much less busy, but I'm very proud of myself. I'm sticking with my goals. That's awesome. Yeah, these are the books I read in February 2025. Which of these books intrigues you the most? Which one do you want to read? Which one do you absolutely not want to read? Let me know. I should have more book videos coming soon. Like I said, I finished my sketchbook. Never thought I'd finish it. So yay, we'll have a sketchbook tour soon. Vinyl video, like I said, I don't know. I've got so many ideas and so little time. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, why not? Go follow me on Instagram if you want to. I'm sure I'm saying something funny over there, probably, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I really appreciate you. Bye-bye.